World Jewry today faces many problems, be it the wide-scale assimilation or the deterioration of the bond between the younger Jewish generation in the diaspora and their Sabra counterparts in Israel. The Zionist movement is struggling to find innovative modes of expression in an attempt to reach out to the millions of Jews in all parts of the diaspora. Unfortunately, institutions entrusted with this task often find themselves caught in political squabbles and party interests. A group of idealistic young Israelis decided to take action to facilitate a change. Number one on their list of priorities was the desire to establish a Jewish direct line between Israelis and Jews living in the diaspora.
It's the very first time that there's an opportunity for Jews from the diaspora to come into contact with Israelis who think like them and who are making an attempt to understand the diaspora mentality.
It was through these efforts that the Israeli Forum was founded in 1985.
We did find out that the Jewish destiny, that the relations between us and the diaspora Jews is a common denominator that cuts across political parties.
In its first year alone, hundreds of Israelis from all walks of life, businessmen, religious leaders, army officers, professors, and others all joined forces to lend a hand toward improving Israeli diaspora relations.
Once you start a relationship like this, you cannot stop it.
In order to maintain a sensitivity to the needs of diaspora Jewry, the Forum has made it its policy to hold annual meetings with diaspora leaders to get direct feedback and identify their specific concerns.
We are expecting our friends, brothers, overseas to do right away things.
Part of what's going on here and part of the fact that we're building economic bridges and cultural bridges and people's children are staying at camps together, we're exposing more Americans to Israel in a way that's not seeing it through a bus, but meeting real Israelis, getting involved in real economic and other activities.
Since its inception in 1985, not only has the Forum talked about change, it has taken affirmative action. Who are the people who make up the Israeli Forum? What are the activities they are involved in? Although Shmulik Ben Tovim is quite busy in his role as president of Karev, a large trade and investment company based in Tel Aviv, still, he finds time to serve as chairman of the Forum. Like many other Forum members, Shmulik's family adopted a young girl from the Otzma program. As we can see, Evan already considers herself one of the family. We asked Shmulik if anyone can join the Forum.
Basically, everyone can join the Forum, but there are special kind of people who can really qualify to be, not because we choose them, but because the kind of personal commitment that membership in the Forum requires. This does not mean, however, that activities and the projects that the Forum is initiating and managing cannot have the participation of many other people.
I'm very excited in the second meeting in the Moriah process because
Nava Arad is a long-term Knesset member from the Labour Party. Nava has been active in the Forum since its beginning. In 1988, she played a central role in organizing the first international conference of Jewish parliament members.
And we hope that
Jewish legislators from around the world came to Israel to participate in this historic meeting.
How are you?
I do believe that after this conference we will have more ambassadors.
Well, it's a bringing together of people who have some influence in the political decisions being made in their parliaments, of people who love Israel and are here anxious to do whatever we can when we get back home to help.
I'm very satisfied with the number of people who came. Actually, we thought in the beginning that less will come, because it is a process. And it takes some time and maybe even a little bit of courage for a member of parliament to identify himself as a Jewish member of parliament, to come to meet his fellows.
Check if somebody is still without a glass.
We meet Ofra and Yaakov Aloni at home in Jerusalem. Both Ofra and Yaakov are active members of the forum, offering home hospitality to many guests from abroad.
A cross-section of
Ofra is the coordinator of the Lahava project. Lahava caters to the teenage population. It brings together Israeli and American youth in a format combining fun and serious dialogue about the future of the Jewish people. Its highlight is a 10-day summer gathering in Israel. The quintessential Israeli, tough on the outside and soft inside. General Yoram Yair has served as a commander in the paratroops for over 25 years, fighting for Israel's security in all of its wars.
Later.
A loyal and active member of the forum, General Yair volunteered to coordinate the Otzma program. This unique program, whose name means strength in Hebrew, is targeted for 18 through 24-year-old students from abroad. The program offers the students an opportunity to contribute a year of national service in Israel.
I may not be able to tell you that much more about Israeli history than I knew before, but that's not what's important. I can tell you a lot about people.
During this year, the students become acquainted with Israel in an intimate way, very different from the experience of the average tourist.
It's very hard for me to say shalom. I'll use the word leitraot, and if you allow me, I'll say I'll miss you. I simply love you.
Meggie Navon is a prime example of the true volunteer spirit. In the morning hours, she works as a therapist with disabled children. In the afternoon, she and her husband Yoav open their home to Olim from South Africa, Argentina, and the Soviet Union. Meggie also serves as the coordinator of the Reut Friendship Project.
Project Reut is adopting 3 groups of people, new immigrants who are coming to Israel.
They make the difference for us, between staying in Israel and going back to Mexico.
Soldiers who came to serve in Israel from all different countries in the world.
They were very open to me and willing, and slowly I felt at home. They have 3 wonderful children, and they're like brothers and sisters to me.
And the third project is adopting students who are coming for 1-year studies in Israel, or they're make aliyah and they don't have immediate families also in Israel.
אנו אומרים כמה מילים פשוטות ולא מספיקות. תודה על מה שלנו נתתם.
The Israeli Forum has been a trailblazer in its work to improve the relationships between Israeli Jews and the diaspora. Although no one minimizes the importance of these efforts, few translate their beliefs into action. The Israeli Forum does.
And think of new ways of involvement.